On this week's edition of Connecticut Naturalist, a friendly crow comes face to face with our camera. Baltimore orioles hunt for berries at Sympa, while mother grackles tend their young, and a family of swans paddle far away from the shore. Female painted turtles are laying their eggs. A hatchling of spiders begins their dispersion. We peer inside a birdhouse at a family of juvenile chickadees, and a sandpiper devours a giant water beetle. All this and more on this week's edition of Connecticut Naturalist. And now, here's your host.
Hello friends, I'm Will Michael and you're watching Connecticut Naturalist. We find ourselves once again in the winter. During the past few months, I've been working on the documentary, A Journey Through the Old Quarry Nature Center. It's finally complete and we're back on to our weekly scheduled program. Here's a look at some footage that was shot last summer and spring.
Once upon a time, a small crow came squawking out of a tree near my property. The crow was not afraid of humans and spent much time following anyone in the neighborhood around. Crow is extremely curious and intelligent. He never stops playing and exploring different objects that he finds. My favorite is the crow manicure. As I said, the crow is curious about everything. A small crevice in between the toes, and he's got to see what is or isn't inside. I'll confess, it does tickle, but he does a much better job than any nail salon in town. After all the manicure work, it's time for a brief rest and a drink of water. His curiosity never dies, and after a while it's back to his usual business. His behavior can reach the point of annoying sometimes. Now he's even curious about the camera. One of Crow's favorite things to do is play with Velcro. He tries to separate the two pieces from each other. It's difficult for him, and he never seems to be able to manage it, but that doesn't prevent him from trying and trying over and over again. It's amazing to watch him work. You can actually see him thinking when he looks at his surrounding world. In nature, crows often manipulate other animals for their own benefit. Crows are known to antagonize coyotes and wolves in order to steal meat that the larger predator has killed for itself. This instinct is evident in our crow. He has no fear of the dog and antagonizes her for what appears to be his own entertainment. This is a self-portrait of Cuervo the crow with Will Michael on CTnaturalist television. Amateur videography. But he's after my hair, scrunchie in my hair. Cuervo the crow came down from the tree the other day, and now he thinks he's a human. No. Crows are always after brightly colored or shiny, unusual objects. They're highly intelligent. He's really after this scrunchie in my hair. What do you think of the camera? No, you're not going to land on the camera. Come on. So, me and Cuervo together. Oh. You're crazy. Cuervo and the family dog are friends, and he likes sneakers. He knows how to untie and tie shoelaces. He's good friends with the dog. He cleans debris off the dog's fur and looks for insects. Good girl, Bella. Crow seems to be aware that the most sensitive part of the dog's body are her ears. He often picks at them, and then the dog gets upset. He retreats quickly, but returns in a matter of minutes to play again. Now Bella, the family dog, is trying to inform the crow to scratch her ear, but the crow doesn't understand. As Bella rolls onto her back, we present the never-before-seen game of crow rolling. Similar to log rolling, the crow must remain on the dog for as long as possible without losing his balance. I hope I made the point that there is no escaping the crow. He often flies up to an open window and investigates what's going on. Look at those cunning eyes. One can just imagine his mind. What's this? How does this work? What does this do? Where does this come from? A never-ending supply of questions. This footage was filmed last summer. In case you're wondering, the crow no longer can be found in Bethel. However, he did make the newspaper some months ago, and was a local celebrity at the Mobile gas station, Dunkin' Donuts, the Savings Bank of Danbury, and the Sycamore restaurant, along Route 53 running through Bethel.
And now we'll look at some footage from Sympa Pond in Bethel, an animal sanctuary teeming with wildlife.
In the spring, Sympa Pond in Bethel is absolutely teeming with wildlife. There is so much here that I could film a year's supply of programs from this one location alone. We'll take a look at just a few examples today. Mother grackles enter and exit nests they have constructed in the bottom of the Phragmite plants. These nests are surrounded by water, making it difficult for predators to approach. In the distance, just about out of camera range, the male red-winged blackbird tries to scare away a large blue heron. The heron is a peaceful giant, but the blackbird will take no chances.
He's probably disturbed. He wants to probably get his supper right now.
Yeah, now look, there's a bird. There's a little blackbird trying to get it away from its nest. This female painted turtle has left behind the water and is exploring the area for a prime location for egg laying. There were other females laying eggs in large piles of topsoil left over by city workers. A giant water snake basks in the warm sun. From this point of view, without seeing the snake's body, it looks just like a turtle. After all, turtles and snakes are both members of the reptile family. I often tell people, if you're not afraid of turtles, you shouldn't fear snakes. The only reason people don't like snakes is because they don't have legs and they look different. Snakes are just hard to relate to, and lots of people fear what they don't understand or what they cannot identify with. One of the most prized birds to see on any birdwatching trip is the Baltimore oriole. The black and bright orange coloration is one of the most vibrant and beautiful combinations of any bird in our area. There is a group of orioles feeding on berries among the treetops on the perimeter of the pond. The males have bright pigmentation, while the female's coloring is not as brilliant, as witnessed by the female shown here. Out in the middle of the pond, a pair of adult swans chaperone their cygnets. For you literary buffs out there, cygnet is what a baby swan is called. At this early age, the cygnets have their soft feathers and are cute. It's not until they begin to develop their adult feathers that they look awkward. hence the famous story entitled The Ugly Duckling. If one approaches too close for comfort, the adult male will become defensive and try to ward off you or any other predator that approaches. John Bedalotti is part of the Connecticut Naturalist documentary team. He's out here today tracking turtles.
I'm out here filming the introductions in the old quarry, and as I mentioned last time, there's a chickadee chirping in the trees. The sun is going down. I've got my dog splashing around making some noise, but now we're going to take a look at some footage that was shot during the summer on my property.
This yellow ball is comprised of hundreds of tiny spiders. They've recently hatched from their egg case and are now huddled together for safety. Let's see what happens if we slightly touch the web. They disperse and then regroup. Soon they'll release small strands of web that act like parachutes in the wind, transporting them to new locations all around the property and neighborhood.
You may have noticed a weak point on this program is these segues where I come on screen. That's because there's no cameraman. I'm standing here in the middle of the forest, just me and my camera. I invite my viewers, if you have any interest in becoming a co-host or a co-producer of this program, your help would gladly be appreciated. Please send me an email with your resume and your interest, and I'll see if I can find you a spot.
A pair of chickadees is busy going back and forth inside a birdhouse in my backyard. Every time one parent enters, he or she goes in with an insect. The roof of the birdhouse is detachable, and we are able to look inside with a perfect view. There are 7 miniature chickadees inside this nest. It's a miracle that all survived to this stage. They all have their feathers and look healthy. Soon they'll leave the nest and fly for the first time. From a close-up perspective, these young chickadees don't even look like birds. Their soft black and white faces resemble a panda bear or some other mammal. But no, they are birds. And just like the movie March of the Penguins, we'll monitor these fledglings and see what happens. CTnaturalist TV will present a new documentary, Chirp of the Chickadees. We still have a lot more to come on this week's episode. Stay tuned, and we'll be right back after this brief message. Do you have a grub infestation on your property or in your garden? Do you feel there's no one you can call to for help? Well, now you have someone you can count on to remove all those garden-dwelling pests. Meet the Flash. Who is this grub-devouring speed demon? Why, it's your friendly neighborhood frog, of course. Call today for a free inspection. And for those heavy-duty jobs, when unwanted pests invade your home and make you feel poor in spirit, we'll bring in Leonard the Toad. Our frogs and toads go through a 6-week training course and are legally licensed for insect termination. In this file footage, we see our employee of the month, Mr. Leonard Toad, taking out a dangerous super grub. On the first impact, the grub reacts aggressively. The grub is coming in for an attack, but you can rest assured that he's no match for Leonard. Using his secondary plan of attack, Leonard successfully removes the grub. Now all those garden plants and flowers can rest easier. So call today. We'll connect you with highly qualified agents in your area who will get the job done right for you and yours. Mention the Mad Frogger and you'll receive a 15% discount. What are you waiting for? Call today.
As you know, salamanders are always a favorite topic on my program. Last spring, I encountered something I never before witnessed. A deadly, terrible, salamander-hungry killer.
As you may know, salamanders are my favorite animal to film and study. Although this little sandpiper may appear cute and harmless, if you're a salamander, it's a terrible, horrible, salamander-devouring monster. This sandpiper has a ravenous appetite. I, for the first time, am filming it hunt in the shallow waters of the pond's edge. With better precision than the best marksman, this little sandpiper picks off all sorts of underwater creatures. First, it's a yellow-spotted salamander larva. I can see the gills, arms, and legs of the juvenile. Next, it spears a marbled salamander. This is incredible because I spend days and weeks searching for marbled salamanders and often come up empty-handed, while this little bird seems to find it effortlessly. And now, there's just one less marbled salamander for me to be able to film. Another seldom seen creature, the giant water beetle, is the next item on the menu. The water beetle has powerful front appendages and packs a mean sting, but it's no match for this master hunter. The sandpiper needs to position its prey into a vertical position before it can swallow it. It repeatedly catches and releases the beetle, but then with one swift gulp, the beetle disappears down its gullet. Revolution Pond never ceases to produce fascinating wildlife to discover. The hike back down the hill reveals an elaborate mushroom. The intricate physical formations resemble that of an underwater coral reef. And now we continue, onward and forward to our next adventure.
Well, friends, we've come to the end of this week's episode, just in time for another airplane to fly over the sky. Stay tuned in weeks to come as we continue to explore Connecticut wildlife on a weekly cycle once again.
Ribbit, ribbit, I am a frog. Ribbit, ribbit, splashing in the bow. I sing all night with the yellow moon above. Fireflies dance on my lily pad with me. I've got no time, I got a date to cross the pond. Ribbit, ribbit, I am a frog. Ribbit, ribbit, laughing on a log. I love mosquitoes, taste like candy with wings. Don't kiss me, I am not a prince. I spend my days where horseflies meet the fish. Winter is cold, I burrow down under the ground. It's cozy in my muddy cave. Spring rolls around, rain splashes overhead. The ice is melted, time to swim again. Ribbit, ribbit, I am a frog. Ribbit, ribbit, floating in the pond. Swamp life is fine, but I'm moving into town. Need a change of pace from the green. I live inside a brand new kitchen sink.
This is Alfonso Raccoon, reminding you to stay tuned to Connecticut Naturalist as we continue to explore wildlife in the weeks ahead. Thank you and good night.